Morning, everyone. Rise and shine with Global Entertainment News Morning Buzz. I am your host, Busola, and ready to kickstart your day with all the fresh news and stories. And right here with me, bringing our whole spark to the studio is
Bella.
let's dive into today's headline, fresh from the Punch and the Guardian newspaper. Today's top story from the Punch: 14 years old girl fake own kidnap, adopts 4 years old sister in Katsina, says police. The Katsina State Police Command said it has uncovered a kidnapping syndicate involving a 14-year-old girl who conspired with three others to adopt her 4-year-old sister and fake her own adoption to demand ransom. Spokesperson for the command, Abubakar Sadiq, disclosed this on Wednesday while briefing journalists on the command's activities for the month of May. He said the incident was reported on February 20, 2025 by one Alhaji Badamasi Bala of Madaksi Yan Nono Quarters, Katsina, who informed the police that his two daughters, aged 14 and 4, had been kidnapped. The adopters demand a ransom of 50 million naira for their release. About 4 months from the date of the kidnapping, the eldest daughter surfaced. When questioned, she confessed to having conspired with three others to kidnap her 4-year-old sister and faked her own kidnapping, he said. The other suspects, aged 25, 19, and 16, were subsequently arrested, and the 4-year-old victim was rescued unharmed.
Well, I think this is where Nigerian have subdued to this point of a 14-year-old girl actually faking her own adoption just to get a sum of a ransom from her parents, and it's really saddening. I don't know how long we are going to go about this whole kidnapping and then let me say unsafeness among ourselves to the point that we're going to find rest. Because if a 14-year-old can actually conspire with
Friends,
three more people to actually kidnap her 4-year-old sister and at the same time
faked her own
fake
kidnap.
her own kidnap, I feel like this is really a sad one. How long are we going to? Because right now the money might already be paid, and then she it's really sad, but I don't know how to say it. But that is too far for her, for a 14-year-old to actually come with that idea. And we are not going to say that this is kind of influence of our friends or whatever, but the way her brain is already reasoning at this tender age, we don't know what the community is going to call it.
As well. Let's move on to the next one. Floods ravage 180,000 farms across 30 states. Nigeria's agricultural sector has been severely impacted by climate change and growing insecurity. A new report by SBM Intelligence has revealed widespread flooding has affected more than 30 states, leading to the destruction of an estimated 180,000 cultivated farmlands nationwide. The report, published in June 2025, states that since July 2024, 31 of Nigeria's 36 states have been inundated by floods, affecting approximately 1.2 million people. It reads, since July 2024, 31 of Nigeria's 36 states have been inundated by floods, affecting approximately 1.2 million people. This widespread deluge has destroyed an estimated 180,000 cultivated farmlands nationwide. The flood has caused significant damage to agricultural infrastructure, further exacerbating food insecurity. The Middle Belt, known for its agricultural output, has seen widespread destruction of crops, contributing to food price inflation, which reached 35.41% in January 2024.
Talking about this flood of a thing, it's really affecting not just the farmland as well as it affects even the people, the house, and all that, and a lot of that is at the risk. I don't know how. It's not as if I don't know, but it feels like in a state like this, when it's going to be raining season, every other, let me say, West African, they're going to make pathways for waters to flow into the dam. But I feel Nigerians, we always take things carelessly until the point that it has already done a whole lot of damage before we are going to be looking for an urgent intervention, which something that could have been done. We have a whole month, 5 to 6 months to actually prepare for all this thing before it actually gets to this point now. Now, imagine 180,000 farmland being destroyed. The last time we were talking about 200 to 500 people that was being
carried away by the water.
that was drowned. And it's really alarming. How are we going to deal with this? How? How long are we going to keep on pretending that nothing is happening in Nigeria? The dam that needed to be repaired, that needed to be done so that it does not lead to more tragic, is being abandoned. A lot is being abandoned by the so-called leader that we put there to actually lead us. They are not doing anything.
I was about to say the same thing to that. Why is something we can prevent from happening? It's more than a year. Okay, it happens now. What of next year? Let's prepare for next year. Rather, we turn a blind eye to everything that is happening and rather spend money on unnecessary things. Things that could be prevented, things that could be done, but no, we turn a blind eye to it. It is wrong. Okay, let's move on. 2 killed, 1 injured in Kwara hotel collapse. Two construction workers died while another person was seriously injured when a section of the old fence of Kwara hotels collapsed, Punch gathered. Our correspondent learned that the incident occurred on Tuesday afternoon during active construction work at the hotel site, located in the GRA area of Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The facility, once a symbol of the state's thriving hospitality industry, is currently undergoing a facelift as part of the government infrastructure renewal drive. Punch gathered on Wednesday that the three victims were rushed to a private hospital on Unity Road, now Wahab Fola Wiyo Road, where two of them were pronounced dead, while one who survived was being given intensive medical care at a hospital. An eyewitness near the site who did not want her name in print described the moment of the collapse as sudden and horrifying. I was nearby selling when I suddenly heard a loud blast. It sounded like a bomb. People started shouting and running from the site. It was terrifying, she narrated. According to her, several passersby initially thought an explosion had occurred until the true nature of the incident became clearer moments later as emergency responders began arriving at the scene.
It's my condolence to those that lost their life, and at the same time, we have been coming a record of house collapsing, even the one that is still under construction is being collapsing, and then I'm going to question the fact of what kind of materials are we using. One of our actors, what should I, Charles Okocha, was says that his friend was in an accident of a POP collapsing. Another also made mention of that, and I was wondering what kind of product are we using these days to actually construct and build house for ourselves? To say that okay, we needed a safe place to stay, and then we ended up being trapped under a collapsed house that we thought that it could be a safe place for both raining sea and the scorching sun, but right now, everything in Nigeria, I don't think they are made up of a good material to even begin with. If we are already witnessing or experiencing this over and over again, not just something that's come once in a while, once in blue moon, but constantly, we need to start questioning our constructor, the architecture, the builders, and all that. What are they using? If I'm in a desperate need of a home and then you give me something that is going to collapse in a year time, then I feel like I have to start extending my hand to the nearest country, let me say Burkina Faso, and then bring them in and then help me to give me what I want, and then I'll pay them. Because if we are no longer trusting in our Nigerian constructor and architecture, then there's need for us to start extending hand.
It's real. All right, let's move on. US court jails Nigeria for death sextortion of teen girl. A 25-year-old Nigerian, Samuel Abiodun, has been sentenced to 5 years imprisonment by a United States of America court for his role in a sextortion scheme that led to the death of a teenager. It was learned from a statement by the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, David Metcalf, on Wednesday that Abiodun was sentenced on Tuesday. According to Metcalf, the convict, alongside an accomplice, Afeez Adewale, was arrested in Nigeria by the FBI and extradited in July 2024. Following his extradition, the duo were charged before a court in August 2024.
Well, this is
While Abiodun pleaded guilty to the offense of money laundering, conspiracy, and wire fraud related to the sexual extortion and death of a young man in December 2024, Aina pleaded guilty to cyber stalking, interstate threats to injure reputation, receiving laundering, conspiracy, and wire fraud in May 2025. Following their guilt plea, Abiodun was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment by U.S. District Judge Joel on Tuesday, while Aina is scheduled for sentencing on August 11. Metcalf added that their third accomplice, Afeez Adewale, who has yet to be extradited from Nigeria, has also been charged in absentia.
this is a very sad one.
Yeah, very, very sad one.
To be in this extortion is very, very sad. Yeah, and it's this is why we keep giving ourselves a very bad name. We are being found of fraud and money laundering
Laundry,
and
a
like
lot.
that is a lot for a country that you know that their policy and their rules are very strict. When it comes to anything like this, even a 40-year-old child, you dare not even wanted to have any private discussion. You are going to jail for it because it feels like you are actually taking on an
Advantage of the
inappropriate
person.
way of talking to you are already taking an inappropriate way towards this person and you need to go to jail for it. You need to go to a trial. And then it's really sad.
To
We
me,
are Nigerian, we are giving ourselves those that have the chance to leave the state because of the way Nigeria is. We get there and then we wanted to block the other ways and then feels like no one that is sad.
to me, sef, I felt the 5 years imprisonment is too small for that kind of judgment.
Well, it's the US and they know the right things they are doing. They have every right, whatever they say that this is the best, that is it.
As well. Okay, moving on to today's top story from the Daily Trust. Democracy Day. What June 12 mean to us, says citizens. The general perceptions of democracy varies across different regions and populations, but global survey indicates a mix of support, skepticism, and concerns about democratic governance. Experts often assess democracy more positively than the general public, highlighting a gap between institutional performance and citizen expectations. Many people express dissatisfaction with their governments, feeling that political institutions do not effectively represent their interests. In separate interview with Daily Trust, some Abuja residents, ranging from students to professionals, shared their feeling about how democracy has impacted their life and how they perceive the current administration. Taibat Ona, a COP member serving in Abuja, said despite the promise of democracy, the impact on ordinary citizens remain harsh. Since President Tinubu assumed office, things have gotten noticeably harder. The cost of living have skyrocketed, transport fares, food price, and necessity have all doubled or tripled, she said.
The sad part of democracy in Nigeria, we are experiencing it. There have never been a one time that let me say those of us that are actually growing up in times of when Nigeria turned 15 and then we are still living in it right now. We thought that this is how our forefathers actually lived then when they were in the 19th something and all that. But I heard an elderly man actually giving saying something about when he was in the university. He got married he was receiving salary while being in school because the government was paying him. And then he got married with the money that was being paid to him for just schooling. School materials were being provided for him, and then we were many people people were speechless because they thought that it was never possible. Because right now you have to provide everything. You don't get paid because you are in school. Instead, you pay a lot of money. And when you graduated, you
No
have to
job.
experience the hardship in getting a job or even actually sustaining a living for yourself. You become so desperate to the point that lots of things are now happening, kidnapping, ritualists, and even internet fraudster. That is what we call bad democracy. That is what we call non-working system in Nigeria. If we wanted to look at it, we are not going to just say that the government are part of all this. From the beginning to the end, we are experiencing the harsh weather that our leaders is forcing on us. They don't want it to pay attention to what we have to say. They don't want it to do the needful. They don't even want it to actually assist us on making the little ones that we are asking. If the security in Nigeria is very peaceful, nothing is going wrong, then we have every right to actually do something for ourselves in a better way. But if some people are scared. Those that are in diaspora, they are scared of coming back home because they don't want it to be brutalized by the security personnel. They don't want it to be kidnapped by the
Bandage.
insurgents and all that. They don't want it to be involved in cyber and all that, because even someone that is outside country come back home, the security person are going to label them as a cyber fraudster and all that, and then they are going to harass them. Imagine the democracy that we are craving for.
It's just too hard to handle.
It's very harsh on us. It's
Yeah.
very harsh on this generation that it's not even looking
Good at all.
It's not.
Okay, let's move on. Passengers stranded at Lagos airport as Oshiomhole Air Peace clash. Several passengers were stranded at the Muritala Muhammed Airport Domestic Terminal 1 on Wednesday over an incident involving Air Peace and former Edo State Governor Adams Oshiomhole. Oshiomhole reportedly on Wednesday morning locked the terminal gate of the MMA Zulu terminal after he missed his flight. Oshiomhole, now a sitting senator for Edo North, reportedly arrived the airport after 6 a.m. for a flight that was to depart by 6:30 a.m. When he was told that the flight had departed, he reportedly blocked the entrance, preventing other passengers from gaining entrance to the terminal. Video footage of the drama cited by our correspondent showed the senator blocking the entrance.
This is a very sad one, I would say. Yeah, because you are actually, let me say,
An ex-minister or the state
Edo State
senator.
governor, and then you actually feels like
Can do
Oshomole has
laundry.
been on this politics for as long as I would know, because I remember when I was hearing my mom talking about him, my parents talking about Oshomole, and then he's still there up till now, and then actually giving rules and regulation, even if though that is your aircraft that is working for you, and then they are paying you. You coming late to your flight, and then you missing it does not have to do anything with others not making it out of there. You blocking it is as if that you are using your power to oppress the poor. It's not even as if you are using your power to oppress the poor. If you know that you have a flight that is scheduled for 6:30, because you are the ex-governor or whatever that you
That
are,
does not
does
mean
not have,
for them
you
to
don't
wait
have the
for
right.
you. They can't.
You don't have the right. Every other people that is boarding that flight has a very serious business that they wanted to go and do. So you don't have the right. You are late. You are late. Then go back and schedule another one. But here in Nigeria, everything is possible. So far you have the money, you can do whatever you want to do, and then it's go into
Go scot-free.
silence. Nobody is going to judge you. Nobody is going to hold you down. So they all have the power, and then they do whatever they want to do.
It's wrong. Imagine him coming around 6:10 and the flight supposed to leave by 6:30. Are you expecting them to wait for you? It's wrong. Let's move on. Strike. FCT pupil may lose 1 year. NU teacher. The chairman of the FCT wing of the Nigerian Union of Teachers North, Comrade Abdullahi Muhammad Shafaz, has warned that there might not be a new intake into junior secondary school JSS1 this year in the Federal Capital Territory FCT if the ongoing strike by the primary schools teachers lingers. Shafaz gave the warning on Tuesday during a phone-in program on the network service of Radio Nigeria, which was monitored by Abuja Metro. The union leader warned that pupils in primary 6 in all the public schools in the territory may not be admitted into JSS1 in September due to what he called lukewarm attitude of the 6 area council chairmen who he said have failed to address the demand of the striking teachers. According to him, the council chairman have continued to pay deaf ears to the demand of the teachers, saying 3 different arrangements were reached with the council chairman and were all reneged.
I'll say this one is a very sad one for those that are receiving education in Nigeria. And then we are trying our best to actually put up the education and all that to make it a better one. And here we are. Teachers are not being paid and they wanted to strike, and then they wanted to help some children at home for not
Yeah.
for another reason that
The
they
teachers not teaching the students when the appropriate time, and how do you expect them to move to the next one? There is no
well,
way.
all this is just as if that we are on a roller coaster in Nigeria.
Nothing
I'm
is
going to
right
add.
at
We are
all.
just on a roller coaster going round the circle like a merry-go-round and all that, and then we are still going to come back to the same point again when it comes to another campaign, when the same
Leader.
whatever presidential candidate that is going to be there to give a speech that what the so leader was unable to accomplish. Give me 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. I will give it to Nigeria, and
Everything
Nigeria is
propaganda.
going to be a good. Is going to be a good as United States is going to be flowing with milk and honey as Dubai is, and is going to be a working technology as China is, and then we are going to be like, hey, our leader and our savior has come. And then the moment he emerged the seat, we are still going to go back into the same circle again. All they're going to be thinking about is how to embezzle this money, embezzle that money, give this amount out to say that they wanted to dig a 1,000 the borehole, 500 borehole, make streets light, and then all the money is going to amount to billions of money, and then none is being
Be
done.
done.
We are just on a sinking ship.
Sincerely. All right, let's move on to the next news on Daily Trust. Vehicles burnt as tanker explode on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. A falling tanker carrying petrol went into flame yesterday on the easy-busy Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, causing a severe traffic disruption on the highway. Daily Trust gathered that the incident occurred around 3 p.m. near the NASFAT prayer ground, where the vehicle reportedly lost control and overturned. The tanker split its contents and later caught fire, engulfing at least 3 containers-laden trucks and several private vehicles. Emergency responders, including operatives of the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) and fire service units from Ogun and Oyo states, were drafted to the scene.
Well, all these are there are quite an incident that could happen when it comes to people that use road. I'm really glad that it's people's let me say, how will I put it? I won't say that the greedy ones are not there to actually say they want to scoop oil before they were being caught up in the fire, but it's an
So
incident
sad.
that can actually happen. So if that is the road using and going up and down for it, it's something that can happen. So
It's
it's
yours.
just the loss to the company, the petrol, let me say the gas station that have the loss now, and I hope they recover very soon.
My condolences to those that lost their lives there. All right, so we've come to the end of today's show. Thank you for joining us on the Breakfast Show today. I've been your host, Busola. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more news and updates on Global Entertainment News TV, I've been your host once again, Busola, and have a blessed day. Bye.